sponsored.
Gucci wants anything to do with any of this.
Well, as you've seen from his taste shows in the past, he'll put his name on anything.
That's true. That's true. So we're taking sponsors apparently.
7:15. Are we actually live, or are we bullshitting still?
No, we're still. I mean,
we live. I can see it.
And I don't know whether I need to update something on my end. I don't think that's the case, but YouTube has just been trash on my side here, like studio specifically. Oh, cool! I still can't see the chat, but there's a bunch of reaction emojis, so that's cool.
Good times.
Like you have access to
the emojis, but the rest of the rest of it is just blank. This is super useful. Good thing I'm not a big time streamer or anything. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Yeah, we might have to get some better equipment.
Yeah, no kidding. I was looking at laptops actually recently. I wanted a second one for just day-to-day random stuff that isn't CAD based. There's some good options out there, better than there have been the last couple of years.
Nice.
Good times. Good times. Don't mind me. I'm just reconstructing a bug out. I'm actually almost already done.
Oh, fair enough.
You know, when you put so many bitch mates apart and take them back together. Now, centering this sumbitch. We'll be here all night, folks. Yeah.
Dude, okay, Benchmades can be really bad for centering, and usually Spydercos are halfway decent, but let me tell you, trying to center this smock, I gave up. I gave up. Yeah, like, and I thought, like, well, okay, maybe the blade's warped, because I've tried everything else, and I put it up against my, there's a little machinist straight edge I have in the garage, and I was lining it up, I'm like, nope, it's flat. So it's a centering issue, and I'll figure this out. Never.
That's brutal. It's pretty much like dead straight, I'm pretty sure.
I think they must have done some CQI stuff, kind of similar to how they did the Capara within recent history, because the new versions, I know, yes, I torqued my my liner a little bit to make it harder to open, but
I was waiting to burn you on that one, but you beat me to it, so that's fine.
But I like the action on mine. But the new ones come significantly better tuned than mine did. And it makes me wish I had held off on buying mine maybe for a generation or two.
It would have taken forever.
Yeah.
They're tuned to the key of G, by the way, if you're wondering.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just a quick shout out to Lemmy Hangs Long and Stanson 357 in chat. What is up, guys? Lemmy's carrying his Penguin Plus TI.
Nice. I've been tempted by that knife more times than I care to admit. And like I was just telling a customer today, actually, normally, I prefer both handle scales be the same thing. But the carbon fiber on one side and the tie on the other, and that particular knife, there's a significant weight difference between that and the old tie version. But I like it both ways for different reasons. But also,
yeah.
So you'll just have to get on board with a penguin button lock or a penguin slip joint then instead.
Yeah, pretty much, hey. Yeah.
We'll get into that further on, probably tonight. But yeah.
I mean, you brought it up now, so.
Speaking of further on tonight, if you're not joining this one live, skip ahead roughly 11 minutes now, because we didn't say this at the beginning of the episode, but skip ahead about 11 minutes to get to the actual review of the Civivi Thug 2 things.
Dose.
We have 11 minutes to say what we have to say, so people say some shit, won't we? Who's carrying what? Anything fancy? I don't know.
Oh, I got the opposite of fancy. You want to see what I was carrying?
I actually have the opposite of fancy this week too. It's funny, Joe. Go ahead.
Oh shit! All right. Not exactly fancy, but it's a little old. I had my my cricket with me. This is actually called a cricket, not a CRKT. It's the Spyderco cricket. ATS 55 FRN liner lock with Phillips screws. So that's how old that is. They still make this guy in VG10 with a frame lock, but I've I really dig the line and lock on this thing. It's just a silly, cute little nasty thing. All right.
Which steel is yours? Sorry.
Oh,
Eight-
ATS 55.
Okay.
Yeah, so the
There was a
lower
couple
carbon
different.
version, ATS 35 or ATS 34, I forget which, was the superior steel, I think. Um,
More complex, I think, in carbide structure. I think the 1055 was a pure. Anyway, yeah. Continue
Yeah.
on.
What's that, Mickey?
He's just going to stop and look up on an app while we're live.
Well, I kind of figured.
While he looks that up, you should tell us about your.
So carried it on and off, but it was actually a revival knife. Last week I took a day off work to go with the family to amusement park here in Calgary called Callaway Park, and still needed to carry a pocket knife, but didn't want to carry anything too fancy. One for amusement ride loss, depending on how crazy the day got. Also for security reasons, and didn't need to be flashing around a big, crazy, expensive knife. So I went with my QSP Penguin.
Nice.
Very nice.
And I've been saying a lot that I'm like, I should carry that knife more than I do because it's
it's
nice.
Pretty dependable, honestly.
So
man, that is a thick patina you got.
Zoom in on that underneath the clip area.
Yeah, dude, that's actually what made me notice. I thought it was just overexposed so that everything looked black, but no, that's just the patina on the micarta.
I mean, I did some funky filter things with it as well, but oh yes, sir, you can see denim somewhere underneath that blue.
Like mine lives.
Like I don't know if you can see, you can see around the pocket clip, especially on mine.
That's pretty cool, though.
So, anyway, for a sub $50 knife, still a banger.
Oh yeah, 100%. I know guys are tired of hearing
strawberries. I was cutting jerky. Oh, it wasn't. It was pepperoni. It wasn't jerky. I lied.
Jerkaroni.
I lied for the tubes. It's fine.
God, the tubes.
Apparently, Stanton's also carrying his penguin tonight, as well as swordfish. So.
Good times. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you guys kind of went not fancy.
Yeah.
And I definitely went the exact opposite.
Well, I couldn't carry my actual thug this weekend. Everyone would expect that. We're reviewing a thug too. Come on, that's cliche at this point. That's like wearing a Metallica t-shirt when you go to watch Metallica, man. Like
no, see, you wear a Metallica t-shirt when you go to see Open. So you just throw everyone off.
Wow, you gotta mix it up. You just never know. Come out of left field, right? So yeah.
100%.
I choose to wear some sort of Bee Gees funk. It's
there you go.
Nice.
I went the exact opposite. Last week was a friend's birthday, and we went out for dinner. And I was carrying the fanciest of boys, and by that I mean my whole
haptic. I'm not saying that it's getting old, but
it ain't getting old for me.
Yeah.
Well, good. I mean, Jesus, for how much that knife's worth, it better not lose its luster that quickly. God.
Yeah, he's like, hey, look, my new toy. I bought this other thing. Yeah.
Just there's a Family Guy segment where Peter Griffin is like smashing the picture of his family into like some random person's face.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like with this knife. But I'm gonna keep doing it because you haven't seen enough of it yet.
Yeah,
well, sometimes you just gotta pretend like your knife is a picture of 3 weird kids. It's so. And a talking dog. Don't forget, talking dog.
Everybody forgets about that.
Yeah. Hot redheaded a wife. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not saying I find her attractive. She is canonically attractive in the show.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's a redhead, so she's kind of hot too.
Yeah, there it is. Very nice.
All right, sir. All right. Yeah, that's a tasty looking meal you got there too.
Indeed, it was fantastic.
So, you know how I bitched and moaned because we had 11 minutes and we had to get this shit done because we're like, we always take way too long. We got 11 minutes. Let's get on our high horse. Yeah, well, and we got 5 minutes to burn now because we roughly 2 minutes each, which I remember at one point in time in the Pokey Factor, we once upon a time aimed for 2 minutes each for telling what we were carrying each. I remember having that conversation pre-recording and being uppity when people would take too long about the whole goddamn thing. And now it's all over the map. It could take 2 minutes. It could take 11 minutes. You never know. You
Look,
just
if
never know.
somebody says it's something interesting, we're going to talk about it a little bit more.
It's different live.
So
I don't know why.
Time flows differently when it's live. So just to go back for a second, ATS 55, according to Nextdeal chart app, which you should all have if you don't, because holy crap, what a ton of interesting information. It's apparently a 440C class alloy, so in that 154 cm sort of territory, which isn't terribly surprising. ATS 34 is going to be closer to 154 cm than ATS 55 is. Kind of like an Oz 10, Oz 8 sort of relationship. It's hard for me to judge what it actually acts like, though, because it's fully serrated. So, like, I rarely have to sharpen this thing, and I rarely use it for big jobs. So, yeah.
So what you're saying is it acts like a cold steel, is what you're saying.
Just keeps tearing the shit out of everything.
It's not much different than I had it there for a second. There we go.
Oh, the Dodo,
it's
dude, they love this blade shape. It's used quite frequently on a lot of their smaller blades. Oh, what was that?
Well, I mean,
was it Fox?
In their glossary of terms, they call it an S edge. I think they're the only people that even call any sort of weird harpoony or harpy looking blade. Yeah.
Unless Cold Steel. Yeah.
You're a bunch of weirdos. Let me get my MPR over here. Speaking of tiny tanks.
Oh, well,
I should get that knife ready for a reference because, I mean, I probably don't have one, but it's probably going to come up in conversation. Because
I was going to say, I was a little surprised to see that you didn't include a comparison with the MPR.
No. A little more of a relevant comparison, if I can help it, right?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
That'll come up in conversation, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 2 minutes to spare. I don't know. Someone's going to skip ahead and be like, oh, God damn it, I missed the specs. I'm turning this video off. But we could run through the specs before we actually get the topic going beforehand. So
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Shouldn't be a problem?
Yeah, I'm just making sure that everything's running smoothly here. I updated
should it be a
OBS
problem?
recently, and
probably not.
It's kicking around. It's kicking me a little bit, but it'll like give me an error saying that something is not working correctly, and then that thing continues to work fine. So I don't think I trust it right now, but that's okay.
What is erroring?
I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Exactly. Like the thing is working, and it says it's not. So maybe there's like momentary. It's like, oh, it's dropped or whatever, but I don't even know. I might need to refresh with plugins I have installed. Anyway, that's enough burning for time. We're basically there.
He doesn't even actually have a problem. He was just making shit up because we needed to burn 1 more minute.
I was just waffling for time. No, if I was waffling, I probably would have talked more about how I think FRN needs to make a stronger comeback, but that's okay.
You, sir.
Who are you?
Shut your face.
Yeah.
What is actually... But for real, bro.
Oh.
We can't delete it from the call. He's like mission critical.
The bastard actually runs the thing.
I will politely ask you to mute yourself, sir.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yeah, boom, gone. So, Paul, what do you have to say now?
About?
If he kicked me out,
then
it would just be 2 of you.
I would probably ask what Stanson means about the heart symbol near his comments, because I'm not seeing any hearts. Y'all seeing hearts?
Oh, I think you have like likey comments you can do.
By your comments. No, okay, so Stan said not yours specifically, but I can see a heart floating there in chat. Uh,
I see a money bag.
yeah, I'm gonna send one out right now. There you go. There's a little heart.
Yeah, that's Lenny. He likes the money bags. It's. I mean, we all have a little bit of Scrooge McDuck going on. It's fine. It's fine.
I don't like to overspend.
Swimming through expensive, unnecessary knives. I've done that swim.
Hey, it's 7:30.
I've done the backstroke in that swim.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, pretty much. Not a goddamn clue, huh? Yeah, we run through specs and say a thing we like. Oh, let me pull up a relevant photo before we start. Jesus Christ. I actually don't have any photos of the Thug 2 by itself. It's all next to Dennis's.
You have one of me holding it.
Guess that counts. It's in hand, but yeah, sure. Let's talk about it.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Brian Mooney, woo, sir, woo. Glad you could join us for another riveting knife talk about said knife, Thug 2. I have the Thug 1. It's Thugalicious.
Absolutely.
One might say the Thug 2 is Thug Light.
I really do like that name for it. It's fantastic.
Thug Light?
Thug Light, yeah. It's a descriptive term that does not see enough usage.
Yeah. Now with 40% less calories?
Only 40%, sir. There is a significant price difference between this and the one that preceded it.
I said calories. Eat it.
Eat it. $1
only
per
40% of
calorie,
it, though, Joe. You only have to eat 40%, so it's fine. It's fine.
Stanton is wondering if it comes with a serrated edge.
No, sir. No, sir, it does not. Plain edge options only for said Thuggaroonies.
Brian Mooney is asking if it comes with spinners. The Wii one does.
Kinda.
It's got
talking
something
about pivot collar, yeah. Don't refer to my pivot collar as a spinner ever again. But
I was gonna say I don't agree with Dennis on much, but that was fucking awful.
I was just trying to bring it all around.
We do agree on a lot, but goddamn, those are not fidget spinners. Don't do it.
We can agree. Anyway, we're ready for some specs?
I think so. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, it is the Civivi Thug 2 with a blade length of 2.7 inches, bead blasted nitro V on ceramic ball bearings with an overall length of 6.5 inches. Blade stock thickness is 3 millimeters with dark green micarta and stainless steel liners. Last of all, weight is 3.44 ounces. Civivi's US MSRP is $88.40 on the website.
I absolutely love this blade shape. The way they have this one split up, it really kind of works in multiple different areas.
Yes, having that aggressive Tonto tip with the kind of thicker compound grind at the front and the hollow grind at the rear, it's a really cool blade.
With those of us who like the tiny tank stuff, but with the new modern lightweight stuff coming to trend, this kind of fills that gap of that old school and new school.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Spinners and all,
Well. Oh, hey, look, it's lefty compatible.
Hey, sure is.
I don't know if you can get that knife with a Timascus pivot collar, but if that's not a spinner, I don't know what is.
No, I don't think there's a Damascus option even on the Thug. I think they only
Okay.
have the 3 handle finishes on the original Thug. This one has 4 flavors, all plain edge, 1 Damascus. Man, Damastic. That's right. It's
I
Stop
figure
being so
I
domestic.
I figure while we're talking about it, we may as well go to the website quick. Oh, they sell spare hardware. Hardware, that's cool. Yeah, they've got the wood with Damascus micarta.
That's Damastic. All right,
Oh,
get your shit
sorry. I'm
together,
sorry.
Joe.
Damastic. Oh, I
Ruben
own
Fruber.
Civivi Damastic. I should know this. God
I
damn.
know it's trademarked.
What a yeah, it's a recognizable term now, boys. I hate it. Oh.
Also with Black G10 on Black Blade, Black G10 on a Bead Blasted, I believe. So yeah, Bead Blasted. Heard a reviewer say Glass Blasted. That is not correct. I double checked the website. It is Bead Blasted.
Glass beads?
So take that.
I honestly don't know what compound they use. They say silver bead blasted. Yeah, they don't say glass blasted. I think the connotation with glass is that you have smaller particulate. I think is the implication there. I don't know. But the version we are reviewing tonight is this guy, and I believe this also has a bead blasted finish. Yeah, it's a striking profile. There's the picture in Dennis's hand again. So, where do we start?
Where do we start? With the micarta goodness.
Do we start? Well, we can throw up a size comparison compared to the other knives that I threw out there, with the Techno in particular, as well as my completely irrelevant size comparison with the Dragonfly. But more importantly, the Techno is actually probably the more relevant knife to throw up here to compare with, because it's very
Dragonfly
similar.
just keeps you within a ballpark. You always know compared to other
It's
reviews.
it's our litmus test, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Tiny Tank is definitely the right name for this thing.
It is. The one device. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for me, the one divisive thing about this. Sorry, I doubled down. Is this knife really wants to be a 3-finger grip?
So yes,
for me.
Size comparison wise, I did throw up the in-hand picture. I try to justify something be a 4-finger grip all the time because I got skinny ass fingers. So I'm like, no, you can put 4 fingers on it. It's fine, whatever type of thing. No, this thing really is pretty much a 3-finger grip knife. Like there's no skirting that. Yeah.
I don't often put a lanyard on things, but I might put a little nubbin.
So oddly enough, because the handle is as wide as it is, for me at least, I don't think I would. I think I would be okay with just a 3-finger grip. Because this knife isn't particularly slender.
That's fair.
It's still a chubby monkey for sure, right? But I mean, the grip itself, like I think a mini Griptilian actually gives you more clearance than this thing does, like as far as a reference point goes. But the other thing I was actually going to laugh and say is like 2 of my pros that I have is the fact that it has a lefty clip, which you've already covered on this thing. And then the other thing was, sorry, what were we just talking about?
The chonkus?
The grip?
The lanyard, putting a lanyard on it, and the fact that they hid the goddamn lanyard on this thing, so someone can have a lanyard.
I have a picture actually of the original Thug and the Thug 2's lanyards.
And by I mean someone, I mean Matt. Matt can have a lanyard. It's fine. Black Frost.
I would do it.
We got you covered.
Just a little nubbin.
I do like that Civivi/We goes to the trouble of tapering these pins so that it keeps the lanyard cord, the attachment cord for like the lanyard strand, I guess, like centered roughly within that pin.
Why do you gotta be showing off my dirty ass lanyards? Holy crap, dude!
I actually thought about cleaning that up after seeing the photos, and I was like, nah,
No, call that sucker out on live stream.
Look,
I'll be Q-tipping that before the night's through, that's for sure.
that's fucking hilarious, first of all. Second, that just goes to show how often Dennis uses lanyards for fucking
Yeah, it
anything.
gets a lot of use, you can tell. I've been tying and retying all week.
Yeah, that's pocket lint, baby. I think it's carried.
So
if you're gonna do a lanyard spot on a knife, I think you've got to do something like this going forward. You just gotta.
Civivi has got that too, like the rustic
Yeah.
gent has it. The
yeah.
The drifter, I think, probably has it as well. Apparently, your Elementum has it. Like that's a vibe. That's Civivi vibe, and I'm okay with that. It's
more people need to get on board with that idea.
Yeah.
Stop filling holes in my handles.
Unnecessary holes in my handles. I mean, I'm holding a bug out, and you want to talk about some unnecessary holes? It's
yeah. Like, come on. I don't necessarily care that much about deep carry clips, but really?
Yeah, well, that's like the Gale Bradley. I don't have it handy, but that thing, like, yeah. And I know you moved yours along, but yeah.
The fact that they make a clip that has a lanyard hole in it, and they didn't use that one at least.
I know. It's anyway, I don't want this whole episode to be a bitch fest about that. How about the clips on the Thug? It's a Civivi clip, it's deep carry, it's actually pretty decent. One thing that I've heard a lot out of people like Metal Complex, and I say people like Metal Complex because I hear a lot of people parrot him fairly frequently, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Dude's got some good observations. The Civivi pocket clip for some people seems to be a hotspot. This I do not really get, and I've long been a proponent of like, yeah, Spidey clips are great because they sit closer to the middle of the handle, so that hump sits on the inside of the swell of your palm. It's comfy. It's out of the way. I generally don't like this geometry where you have this sitting above. But I got to be honest, with the Thug, with the button lock Elementum here, for me, it's literally never been an issue with a Civivi knife. Has that been the case for you guys ever? Like where you've noticed it and just been like, wow, that's fucking awful.
I know what people are talking about with that ramp, but I don't think it's as dramatic as people make it out to be. I think is the ultimate thing for me is, I notice it's there. But I mean, I noticed that a Kershaw clip is there sometimes. I noticed that a CRKT is overpronounced sometimes. So I mean, like, is it a deal breaker? Not necessarily for me, but do I notice it? Yeah, I notice it too. Like it's
okay, fair enough. Yeah.
It's definitely something for me that matters different depending on the knife.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is never going to be a hard use knife for me, so I'm never going to be gripping it for all I'm worth.
That is the other thing.
It's never going to become a problem.
Despite this knife being a chubby little tank, this isn't necessarily going to be the first choice to bear down on and like.
I bet you I could fifth pocket it.
So
yeah.
Yes, you guys do, like I said, like as far as bearing down on it, but even with the third finger or whatever, I have done some things with my original Thug that, like, I've owned it for a year, give or take, whatever type of thing, right? Like and I've definitely done some things. And I actually was thinking to myself, if you wanted a beater version of your original Thug, this might be a good option that you could beat up, and especially with Nitro V and the stainless and the impact and the blah blah blah. And so it's funny that you guys are talking about like not necessarily being a hard use knife, where in my mind I actually was thinking, hey, if I already own a Thug and I happen to be a lefty and maybe want to budget on something to beat up, this might fill that gap, right? So but
I guess where you and I differ on that is mostly I do prefer a bit of a longer grip on something if I know that I'm going to be like hammer fisting the shit out of the thing. It's just difficult to do. And but honestly, even as I'm saying that, this is the feature on a lot of knife handles that kind of gets me a lot, is right towards the pinky area where it comes to a point.
That's my pinky area.
Yeah, I mean, well, it forces you to make a decision as to whether you're going to be uncomfortable with four fingers or you're going to be three finger dedicated. Yeah, thanks, Paul. Thank you for the wonderful contribution.
No, it's all. I mean, it was a team effort. Let's be honest here.
It was all good. I still prefer something a bit more hand filling, but also, yeah, I suppose you could do some decent amount of work with it. It isn't like the blade is anemic by any means. It's
Well,
just stout.
and yeah, stout enough blade. We did talk, and I mean something that you're going to bring up in conversation is blade stock thickness, right?
Yeah,
Compared to the OG one, this thing is actually thinner and slicier.
I do have a photo. Yeah.
Did the original suffer from any kind of like flickiness?
No, it's a hologrind. Well, compound,
Campaign.
combine grind.
Campaign grind. um.
It's better than a combine
So
ground.
funny about that. I actually brought in my calipers to work to measure the thickness behind the edge on Dennis's Thug and the Civivi Thug we had on the shelf. And I actually measured against all three of the Thug twos we had. What did I say the difference was? It was like 0.05 millimeters difference in thickness behind the edge on the hollow ground section. Like it was,
Yes.
they did an amazing job replicating that geometry, but also thinning out the 20 CV on the Wii Thug. Like
Nice.
shit,
Yeah.
you guys actually went for it. For the record, I think it was like a 0.44 behind the edge. So still, like, it's good for 20 CV. You don't want to go too thin. But yeah. You're
Even
gonna
with the initial stock thickness, the grind was somewhat impressive that they were able to do
yeah,
it, right? So yeah.
100%. What'll be nice about the thinner blade stock is just you're not going to have it swell up that much. By the time it gets back to full stock thickness, it's going to be pretty reasonable to work with. You are going to be able to slice more effectively with it, if that's what you're trying to do.
I'm breaking shit. Don't mind me, boys.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
what are we breaking?
No, just looking for something. It's Loctite to get my benchmate
Mm,
because
yeah,
Teflon tape's being a bitch right now. So
that's
So
fair.
I'm pretty sure there's video on our channel of me talking about this knife and saying that I think I might want to pick one up.
probably, yeah, there is.
And I waffled back and forth with that after they showed up.
Yeah, that's a waffling. So.
The waffling.
So that part of the waffling that actually might be a good point, a good time to bring up. The detent strength actually did vary significantly between the three that we had. So it was kind of a weird experience because the one that we had out on the shelf was very soft. And then the very next one that I opened up to examine was a very like crispy, poppy sort of detent you would expect from a Civivi liner lock. Then the third one I opened was soft again. So statistically, from our very small sample size, slightly mushy detent. Like you could still make the thing snap open. But it was a little bit weird that two out of the three were softer, and one of them was like more what I was used to on Civivi. And I'm not sure which of the two was closer to the statistical average on this thing.
Yeah, and I guess that would be the one thing is when you're playing with them, it's maybe good to get one in person, or I mean, take a gamble on which one you might actually get, right? So
100%.
Handling the one with that snappy action definitely kind of steered my direction back towards the idea of picking one up at some point. I really like Nitro V.
I know you and I. Well, that's the other thing too. Is this is Nitro V, which is something that's taking up probably something like I don't know a quarter to 30% of their catalog right now, and it's still something that hasn't made its way into my collection or yours. This would be a great way to test it out, to try it out, because you do get something thicker behind the edge that you can abuse towards the tip, and you do get a lot of thin hollow ground goodness towards the heel of the knife, which is also excellent. So if you're the type of person who likes to try new steels and you haven't tried Nitro V yet, that actually is something to consider here. The knife isn't terribly expensive, and the compound grind offers a lot of options. But yes, I think you should probably play with one first if you get the option, just to see.
I will say that the Tanto tip itself with that mild curve on the front of it, especially for scraping things off or scoring, almost chiseling. We were talking about peeling price tags, peeling labels, things like that type of thing. Because it has that really mild belly to it, and I know this is hunter talk, but it comes into like that skinning thing, and that mild belly can just get right in there for that type of idea, right? So,
Like my
Yeah.
CT 620 for the exact same reason. Seriously, that Tonto was actually quite nice for that.
I
And I
completely
think,
agree with both those assessments.
yeah, I think Dennis was right. I think it would be. This is a great example of that as well. Um, the one area they did definitely improve was the inclusion of a left-hand pocket clip.
Yep.
And the thing reverse flicks fine, so it would, and a thumb flicks fine. I think it's going to be a great experience regardless as to which hand you prefer. Um, yeah, I mean overall,
so
yeah.
couple things I will say. On disassembly, the C on the Civivi is keyed into the micarta itself, type of thing. So
Yes.
I don't think any of us have a picture of that. Maybe because I don't think anyway. Just
We
Uh,
could
I
probably see
would.
it on their website. They have
Do they have
replacement
disassembly
parts.
pictures though?
No, they have replacement parts available, and you can see them.
Oh, I
oh,
see
okay.
what you mean. So you can see the underside. Yeah, I don't know if
So
they. I don't know if they would. I was gonna say if I had my bit driver
That's
handy, I would just pop the
that's
top off of mine, but that's okay. We'll go to.
interesting, Paul. Yeah, that they have those pictures
Oh,
so you can see exactly what the disassembly
right?
basically would look like before you do it. I guess, yeah.
no, neither. Oh, this is the.
Are they hiding it on the backside, or is that
Oh no, this is the actual screw. Oh, do they make you
they,
buy it separately? Did they make you buy the stem separate?
potentially?
Nope.
Is it?
It won't let me go back anymore. What have I done? Oh, you could buy the pivot screw, but you can't buy the
The
stem.
female?
At least,
Oh,
okay. I did search thug in order to get this, so maybe if I search pivot. No, it looks like they just list all of their knives and then give you these two options for screws. Interesting. So they will replace the screws for you, but if you somehow lose the pivot stem, eh,
Maybe up shit creek. You might be calling them for a warranty because you can't buy it.
I think don't they use the same stem on a lot of their models? So it might just be a standard product that they can just be like, yeah, here you go. Potentially,
yeah, maybe. I mean,
they might
I
not give them out, but I'm pretty sure they're fairly standard as far as.
oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure they designed them that way. That way, they only have to make
Yeah.
one or two sized parts, right? Um.
So
Anyway, yeah,
yeah, I got a couple different notes on this bad boy that I'd like to gel with. The other
yeah.
thing as well is I've got a size comparison, and I don't know if Joe is wondering to himself why I may or may not have a size comparison when you're thinking to yourself, what's similar to a Thug XL or a Thug 2?
Mm.
Uh, it's a blur. It's a Kershaw blur, obviously, right? So yeah,
Yeah, one hundred
it's
percent.
yeah. So you
Uh,
would want a picture of a Kershaw blur next to a Thug 2.
master,
Obviously, in your mind,
Obviously.
that's exactly
master,
where your brain would go, right? Like
masterful gambit, sir.
a hundred
How does
percent.
how does this happen?
So you might be thinking to yourself, and the real reason is that a blur is almost the identical spec to what a Thug XL is. Almost handle and blade length exactly what a Thug XL is. So if you're wondering, original Thug versus Thug XL size comparison, you might relate it to a Kershaw blur.
All right,
Right.
all right, all right. There is a good reason to talk about that knife. Yeah, okay.
The small one's better.
So yeah. So
This
it's
is the
still
right size for
stubby,
the size.
but I mean, a little more practicality. But with the Tanto, now you're getting into this weird, awkward. Not that you're not getting into a weird, awkward, but the original Thug at least embraces the weird, awkward, whereas the Thug XL is
So
kind of like trying to be a real knife. And I'm like, no, just be weird and awkward, man. Come on.
the one thing about this blade that actually stands out to me, and maybe other knives have done it, but I don't recall too many Tontos with the secondary tip is basically almost exactly at the halfway point between the tip and the heel of the blade.
Yeah, not much. And I think it's funny that we're talking about that, but off the top of my head, another knife that comes to mind that probably does that is actually probably a James Williams Hey-Ho.
I have one of those kicking around.
Yeah, it's close, dude. It's close. It's closer than you would think.
Now that's a more Japanese style Tonto, but I do agree the
It
tip
is, but
distance is
it's
fairly similar.
almost like a 50-50 on where the actual combined ground.
Compine, dude. It kind of,
Combined ground.
dude. This is actually similar proportions, but just schmoller this way.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's right. You two to each other.
Huh. That's
But we're completely unrelated knives.
that came out like what, a decade apart, 2 decades.
Don't pretend like you didn't steal it. I didn't say who. You like how?
Don't worry about it. Let them figure that out in court.
Shout out CJLA. Thanks for joining us. What are you drinking? What are you carrying? So on and so forth.
Side note: if you want a thick, but like if there is a use case for you want a thick behind the edge knife with a stainless blade, and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is actually a really fun one.
Get that piece of junk off our screen. We're talking about real life here.
It's awesome.
They need to make a good one of those.
What's that?
What's that?
They need to make a good one.
Dude, well, they need to make one with a better grind. This thing, like I say thick behind the edge, I dare not measure it. It's probably like a millimeter.
I dare not.
I dare not. I don't want to know. But yeah, we should talk about the knife we're here to talk about.
So, I had to bring that up. I just thought it was humorous. I think I might do that now as far as size comparisons is fine. Like, I'm not kidding. This thing is like hundredths of an inch similar to a Thug XL.
That
as
is
far as a Kershaw blur.
Actually deeply funny. I do enjoy that. Please do that.
So, yeah. So I do have a con. I brought up well, we talked about the differences on the clip and the swoopy on the clip, but I will say Thug 1 versus Thug 2, they decided to go deep carry plus lefty instead of the milled clip. Definitely cost saving, so I can understand it. But that 2-hole clip, you could actually buy the milled clip from Civivi's website and put it on there, even though it'd look weird as hell.
That's funny.
You mean this one?
Yeah, that one. That's the one I'm talking about. Oh. Just buy a Thug 2 now.
Wow.
Paul, you have no excuse. Like,
might happen.
You've literally run out of excuses.
You put weird milled clips on anything else that doesn't belong. What's stopping you from doing it to this one?
You have no standards. That's what he's saying.
I'm going to be honest. The only thing that would stop me from doing it is I'm thinking about putting a lanyard on it and taking the clip off completely.
Ooh, okay. Fair enough. I don't normally like carrying liner locks clipless, but if it's going to go into a fifth pocket where it's not going to be allowed to rotate anyway, okay, that's a good argument. Yeah. Man.
Either way, you're a monster. It's I got one more. for you. Yeah. So okay. I sent you a picture, kind of a weird picture, and this actually highlights the two things for me. One is the skeletonizing that they did on this bad boy. It is the one that you're
holding, yeah. Oh, I closed that photo by accident. There we go.
Burp.
Yes.
So, on both the liner lock side and the non-liner side, they did skeletonizing. I did take a picture of the other one, but it didn't turn out that good. And honestly, it's pretty much the same as what you're looking at right here. So, they did a good job. But having said that, I know I talked about tiny tank and bridging the gap between modern lightweight and old school tiny tank thing, but you're untanking it, and that's not good either.
But it's already 3.5 ounces, bro. Like,
yeah, but you say that like that's a big deal. What's the original Thug?
Yeah, but the original Thug is ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what tiny tanks, technos don't mill. Thugs don't mill. MPRs don't mill. They own what they are.
I will say that. Well, the Matics, yeah. I will say though that this knife doesn't feel ultra lightweight in hand. So I don't know that it would have gained that much just by having the full steel liners, but.
No, I don't think it would have either. I don't think that's the solution. I just think that this tiny tank thing and this one's kind of like the CRKT tuna and things like that, where it's like not quite as beefy and as tanky as you want it to be, but it's trying to be a tiny tank. I don't know what Joe's showing us other than his eyeballs through the backspacer. It's just
the reflection, because there's no Seltonization in this thing either. It is a heavy little monster. But anyway,
I don't know.
I just want to comment that CJ's drinking an energy drink and carrying a certain Canadian knife maker's friction folder.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would.
Yeah, Joe makes them. You should buy them from him.
Yeah. Do the things.
Okay, so I got one last thing before we round this out, because I know we're getting close, but I do have one last thing that I want to mention.
Sure.
So with this knife, we're looking at this picture in particular, and if you zoom in on the stop pin in particular, and take a look at the stop pin, you'll notice it is a silver stainless steel stop pin on everything else black hardware.
Uh-huh.
Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why would the one thing that they make stainless steel be the stop pin on all of the hardware? But you see, the original Thug 2 is the bead blasted blade with the black G10 and all silver hardware. And from that, they made the stop pin, the same stop pin for all four of them as the stainless steel stop pin. But the other three models are all blacked out hardware, except for the one that has the stonewash blade. The one with the black on black, as well as the Damasteel, as well as this one, is all black liners, all black screws.
Everything but the stop pin?
Everything but the stop pin on all four of them.
Is that because the liners are painted?
Yeah.
I don't know what the material is. It's just black and shiny.
But if you look at the black and satin Thug 2, it's all satin hardware.
Mm.
And I think that what they're kind of basing this off of is that's the -1 model or whatever it may be, even though they're calling it a -2. And everything else got blacked out hardware, but stainless steel stop. Or they just have one stop pin and they don't do black stop pins. One or the other. I don't know. What's your Elementum? Is it black?
No, I actually looked at it. It's silver. Both of them.
Okay. So maybe they make one stop pin. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be that it just worked from another model, so that's what they went with.
It could literally be that it's just they know exactly what size it is. There's no variance with the coating or anything like that.
Yeah.
Messing with the cup.
Could be.
Yeah, lockup might change with the coating. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it annoyed me that one model it makes sense on. The other 4 models it no longer makes sense on. Or 3 models.
That is a little bit strange for sure.
Stop doing it.
I took way too many photos of this knife. We barely used any. I'm just gonna start throwing up some other comparison pictures I had. Like here's the thumb studs. Yeah, there were some thumb studs, and as you can tell, so the closer ones with the Torx screws, those are from Dennis's original Thug, and they went to these pyramid studs that are sort of reminiscent of a Sabenza top, kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah, I will say though, because of that added shelf, it doesn't feel as pokey as the Sabenza studs do. Side note, I still don't think these are bad studs. A lot of people seem to complain about them all the time. All I know is they work with gloves and they work without gloves, and it's not that bad. Get over it.
Who endorses the studs?
Not even really endorse. It's just I don't care enough to bitch about it. Really,
Yeah.
I'll bitch about a lot of things. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Steelworkers Union of America, man. Come on. He's got to defend the studs.
Well, you know. I do find it funny that they went for these double nubbed kind of studs instead of something you could remove with Torx.
That is a little bit interesting choice for sure. Yeah. Also, recess screws on the pocket clip. Yeah, we don't talk about that enough. When it does happen, we sure like to bitch about it when it doesn't. So we'll mention that. Yeah.
You can't see them in this photo. Oh, here's a thickness size comparison. Yes, the blade still is thicker, and it's a noticeable difference in hand. The Wii Thug does have some pretty heavy contouring though, so it fits pretty nicely in the hand. But But just the side by side is kind of funny here. But yeah, you can't see the tops of those screws because they're nested. It's good stuff.
I was going to say, I actually really like this clip. It feels as good as the titanium clip as far as like getting in and out of the pocket as well. They're
Yeah, the ramp for getting in and out is not bad.
no, but very, very similar in shape.
There's actually a decent photo. It's a little high, but
I do like the combination titanium like milled spring clip. Those are cool, and more companies need to do that.
that's a fancy clip. Absolutely.
As far as on the Civivi, as far as function, I like it a lot.
Here's another comparison of the clips, kind of the angles the clips take. So,
Also showing off my stop pin that's dirty. Thanks, Joe. Thanks. Cleaning that right now too.
I aim to provide a service here. All right. Anyway, there's an earlier photo I had in here. The reason I actually took this photo staggered the way I did was because this is actually comparing the carry depth. So because you have a 2-hole clip and it's 3D milled and you have to have space for the screws, makes sense that the Thug original carries a little bit higher in the pocket. This Thug 2 all but disappears. Pretty decently. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you need a lanyard to get your knife out of your pocket, obviously. It disappears so deep. It's
well,
I got some deep fifth pockets, okay?
So one last comment on that deep carry. I did actually put this knife in my pocket and walked around with it for a little bit, and I gotta say, it was really weird having a knife that wide, that thick, like the average thickness, but as short as it is in the pocket. Like I'd reach in to grab like another knife or a key or something, and like, oh wow, that's like I expect that knife, for how wide it is to continue, but it just doesn't. Reminded me of some shorter, fatter Sprintercos.
Like a Techno?
like a Techno.
Yeah.
The old tiny tank.
Well, we're rounding out on half an hour. Any final thoughts on these guys?
No.
Don't be surprised if you see one in my pocket.
Oh yeah, you think you've been convinced? Wow.
The good detent, if I can find one like that, is going to be hard to say no to.
It's fair.
Because that was the only thing that stopped me in the first place. And they're not terribly expensive, right?
No, listed on their website for 80 something. Yeah, 86.50 for American for either the standard or with the G10 or the blacked out with G10. I think it's a reasonable price point for what it is.
I would say so. And I want to play with Nitro V.
Yeah. What was that? What do they run that at? Fairly analogous to AEBL, but I could have sworn they said the HR. Oh yeah, there you go, 5961. Okay, so that's a decent range. And as if you needed a reason, the black coated is a point lower. So there you go. I know we've talked about that repeatedly on this channel, but still. Yeah.
So it's what, 59 to 61 on the silver blade?
Yeah. So that's my pick, honestly. Just for that alone, if I was buying it because I was interested in Nitro V, yeah, I'd go with one of the satin blades, or sorry, satin be blasted. Yeah.
Agreed.
And then if I really wanted it to be black, I could color it in permanent marker. Be fine.
So I wonder if the liners are harder or softer because of the black coat as well.
Actually, though,
I knew it. I knew I was gonna get him.
Yeah.
If it is, doesn't matter.
That's fucking funny. It's probably not different, and they probably do it a little softer anyway. But I mean, you do have to harden liners if you don't want them to wear away super quick. So, yeah, I don't think it makes a difference, but that is very funny. Oh, actually terrible. All
Are we
right.
giving it like a score?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's time for a score. I think it's that time, Paul. I think it's
All right. Somebody should go because I don't really have a score. I just want one. My score is one. By that I mean give me. I'll put it in my pocket.
what does it get? A one, one, please. I like that. That's all right.
I only need the one.
That's a lazy score, but it's entirely valid, and therefore I support it.
I am going to score this knife. One song by John Bon Jovi.
Does he sing a
Yeah.
song named Thug?
No, it's
Okay.
a stretch and a half, but
Okay.
he is going to lay you down on a bed of roses. And there is something to be said for Thug Rose. So,
All right. I could see the stretch.
one John Bon Jovi song. That's what you get.
I've seen you take things very high up off the wall at work. I get it.
Yeah, I got a wingspan. Get shit done.
The wingspan on this one's
Hey, man, I made it land.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, sure.
Sure. You shut your face.
I am not the man in my group of friends who was a John Bon Jovi fan. I don't dislike him. I'm just not enough exposure. Man, I'm coming up with a bit of a blank here as far as something punny here. Oh, that's a bit disappointing. It's a cool knife. I think if you like it and you can afford it, you should get one. It's cool as shit.
It's weak sauce. Weak sauce. I mean,
You know what? I'm gonna double down on the Thug Light because I've referred to people as that sounded sort of disparagingly, but in this case, I think no, this is Thug Light.
All right.
It's actually worth buying. It's cool.
I
Oh,
just figured you
we
were
didn't
gonna.
design. We didn't say the designer's name once this entire review. I think we should probably
What?
say that.
What assholes we are.
I mean, I own that knife. I don't know what's his name.
Matthew Christensen. I actually don't know.
Why is it a C then? CK. That's a weird one.
I don't know. Christensen knives. Yeah, Christensen knife works. You know, he does.
That's less weird now. All right.
Yeah, he designed some stuff. There's a brute. Kind of looks like a thug. Yeah, I'm gonna call that a sort of a custom thug. Why not?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
All right. All right. I like his Thug. And his Thug Light.
See,
Did it.
you could have also gone with a 1830s bandit from India. Could have rated it one of those. That was my backup choice, but Bon Jovi won out surprisingly enough. I don't know why. We never know why.
If the Thug 2 is the Thug 2, does that make the Thug 1 Thug 1? I'm trying to make a B1, B2.
Anyway, if you're still here for some reason, thanks for joining us for the review. We're going to continue the live stream now.
Whatever, I'm funny.
Take care. Yeah. Sure.
Whatever,
Yeah.
I'm funny. That's how we end the
I've said all
review.
night. Come on.
That's where it's getting cut. 100%. That's hilarious. Well, that wasn't bad.
So-
35 minutes for a review? That's okay.
1830s bandit from India is supposedly where the original word thug originated.
Okay, thank you for clarifying, because I'm like...
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
that's...
leave them hanging. Leave them hanging, especially for the guys who you cut and edited that video for.
Oh. Yeah.
They have no idea.
That's all right. That's all right.
They can come back and watch it later.
I mean, not only do you have to do your homework on the knife review itself, you have to do your homework on the ridiculous backstory behind the origins of names.
Etymology of the word thug was not something I thought we'd be talking about in the thug review, but fuck me, I should have expected better.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly. I should have seen this coming from a
Are
mile
you
away.
excluding
we gonna title
1830s
this one?
bandits from India, Joe? Come on.
Are we
It's all
going to title
inclusive
this
here.
one "The Thug and Other Etymological Discoveries from India" in the, what was it, the 1830s?
That's supposedly
the
origins of where the word came from. Yeah.
That's
There you
awful.
go.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got a title. Perfect.
Oh,
1830s India
So-
rediscovered.
Yeah.
Rediscovered. As if people left for any period of time. Jesus. You know, India is a huge country, right? Like, it's truly
I'm pretty
massive.
sure people undiscovered 1830. Okay, like it's.
Is that what you call it when everybody born within a specific time frame is just dead? So like, oh, it's been undiscovered. We need to rediscover it.
Someone needs to.
Oh, that's funny. I like that. And by like, I mean hate.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
All right. I mean, I had a couple small somethings. Well, I mean, that's later. So I forget if I forget if we talked about this in some earlier show or not, but I recently came across a thread discussing the recent acquisition of OKC Ontario. They found a knife. They found a buyer.
Was it
GSM?
yeah, those guys.
No, but guess again.
Okay, see, K-Bar bought them. Trade bought them.
All right, I won't string this on too long, but one more guess, and it's a company we are familiar with. I will say that.
Tops.
No.
Yeah. Essie.
No. They're
No,
not
but
stupid.
but sort of tangentially related to Essie. Blue Ridge Knives apparently acquired $2.4 billion worth of their stock, including equipment and like actual product.
Interesting.
Yeah, this was something I discovered literally on the train ride home today. So it's like, oh shit, I gotta remember to talk about that. So now we're talking about it. Yeah, that's very wild.
Blue is freaking moves.
I was very surprised.
Blue Ridge did make stuff for OKC, right? Like there was some manufacturing as well as Essie and blah 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 throughout the years, right? Like it's maybe currently, I don't know. There's even some versions of rat folders and stuff that I think are Blue Ridge exclusives, right? So
that's fair.
I'm trying to find the actual page here, but anyway, yeah, the somebody had posted a link to notice of acquisition announcement. Anyway, it was very interesting. So,
how long do you think it'll be before they knock all those nonsense knives out of their catalog?
Well, here's the thing. So I don't actually know.
Nonsense knives making money, making the money.
Hey, you're not wrong. I'm actually not 100% sure whether what was announced. Oh, I'm fully charged. I don't need this. Whether the announcement was the acquisition of the company itself for 2 point whatever billion, or the just all the stock, the equipment to then resell or make something else out of it. I don't know whether the company name itself, but from the sounds of things, either way, Ontario Knife Company will be no more as of some date coming imminently. There was a Facebook post about it. Yeah.
Oh, so they're not. I see. All of a sudden, we're gonna have a Blue Ridge knife. I don't know why I said it like that, but knife come out.
So as of this was posted on Thursday, and it's just a screen cap from the Facebook page on Blade Forums, but I'll read this out loud for you guys here because putting an image on here will take a while. It says, "This is hard for us all, and with a heavy heart, here it goes. After 134 years, 121 of them in Franklinville, New York, Ontario Knife Company will be no longer. Back in February, it was announced that our parent company had decided to sell OKC off. This week, it was announced that they have finalized an offer to transfer ownership of OKC to a company based in Virginia. And I haven't done my homework to see whether Blue Ridge is based in Virginia, but I think they are.
I believe
Um,
so. Yeah.
yeah, this company is not keeping the manufacturing facility in Franklinville open. As of July 27th, I will not be employed here, I being the woman who's making this post. This means there's going to be a few changes in our lives in the coming weeks. I'm looking forward to see what's in the future. A little scared of the unknown, but with the love and support of my family and friends, I know everything will work out. Please keep all this here at OKC in your thoughts and prayers. Yeah, so dramatic shift. The entire production plant that's in Franklinville right now will no longer exist.
Yeah, and whether that means Ontario is no longer a company.
Well, and here's
Like
the
it's
thing. A lot of these acquisitions don't necessarily mean the transfer of personnel, whether it's knowledgeable manufacturing hands or whether it's design teams, unless some people were relocated. That could very well just be it, and they're done. The name may resurface in a different factory. It could be all overseas produced. Like, who knows exactly what it's going to look like in the future. What this means for availability for people who want any of their product is effectively you're going to have a fairly limited time to get what you want from what has been produced up to this point. Whatever that situation is going to look like, but yeah,
Get your rat while you can.
effectively. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Cool. I got a couple things.
Sweet.
CRKT's got a new knife.
Oh, do they?
Well, now.
Is that related to the photo you sent, or
No? It's completely unrelated. You just go to CRKT, and I'm pretty sure if you scroll down, it's like the first goddamn knife that comes up.
Okay.
But
yeah, Joe, go to their awful website.
Or you can search, and maybe that'll come up. But it's the Kalbi, Kalbi.
Ooh, hey now.
I'll give Joe something to talk about.
Yeah, there you go. That's definitely.
I'm sorry, Akuto 440A or 440, Akuto 440. Huh. Well, who'd have thunk it?
440.
It's a steel, Paul.
It's in my Ripple.
Oh, yes, fuck.
Sorry. It's a. Sorry.
I hate you so much.
I actually don't know much about the history for Akuto. I just know that CRKT used it for a really brief period of time. Some other companies, I think, had a hand in it. Dennis,
it's a 440C equivalent,
more specifics.
Basically, yes.
Yeah, but
does it have a crossbones on its?
You bet it does, Mr. Parkies.
So, oh, wait a second. Is this assisted?
Oh, I bet you.
It says IKBS. It doesn't say anything about assisted. Oh boy, I've sworn off CRKT assisted knives, but I'm perfectly fine buying something that isn't assisted from them. If you're wondering why, I've had 2 springs fail from them from their new models within like a week of each other, and no response from CRKT trying to get replacement springs. So I'm not excited about that. Also,
well, in a week of
this profile. Also, this profile is basically the same as like a squished crossbones, so I'm definitely into that.
Isn't it straight up squished crossbones? It's just a slightly smaller crossbones,
and it's blue. I'm into it. Sick.
What are we looking at?
Looks like
95 USD.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 130 polar bear dollars, give or take.
I'd buy this for 100 for a steel that I don't have in my collection that I've long wished I could have had a good crack at. I'll pick one of these up.
You get that good crack, Joe.
Oh yeah, good crack steel.
Well, it's better than bad crack steel.
Mm.
Don't want those.
Try not to get cracked steel, dude. Like
I was just gonna say, you don't want those delaminations coming up and hitting you right in the teeth when you least expect it. Yeah, that is the correct response, Paul.
I don't like the way my teeth feel right now.
yeah, it's not great.
You take that thought out of my head.
There you go, Joe. You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, this
just when you thought you'd given up on CRKT, they reel you back in
with a slightly lamer version of the design they came out with 5 years ago.
Yeah, 2 versions of already.
Look.
Now you're speaking my language.
Oh man, dude, there's something seriously wrong with me, and I've joked about this so often, but like aluminum handles and a fine grained steel, for whatever reason, that's like a recipe that calls to me, and I never realize it until after I stop and think about it. I'm like, oh, no, this is another example of like, I don't need another one of these. I need another one of these. I do.
It's even in your like wheelhouse as far as blade shapes, blade profiles,
I see, and
etc.
dude, this is the exception. I normally hate trailing point blades, but on the crossbones, it's like, nah, this is great. It's fantastic.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's
I kind of like
ridiculous.
it. I like the blue.
It's 2 ounces. Damn. Okay.
Hmm?
So
Jeweled on the inside.
other thing,
Yeah.
because we can just keep moving. That's a thing. We talked about penguin slip joint, and penguin
Yes.
button lock with the flipper.
Quick shout out to Cal in chat. What is up?
Yeah, I'll look at your pictures after the live stream, Cal. Jesus Christ, man.
It's just gonna say like, I see ya. I see ya. Anyway. Oh, that's not the right website. Oh my god, that's not the right website at all.
Oh yeah, they keep on changing their shit too. So.
Well, that's kind of nice, isn't it? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What was that notification? Come back here. They said something about it. Oh, you Canadian? You get Canadian dollars. It's nice, but I think for most people watching, they're gonna want American. Anyway, here's the QSP website. And USD. Okay, so any posted prices. Yeah, so penguin and then swordfish.
And some cool kitchen knives, while you're there too.
Yeah.
But the coming soon has got a penguin slip joint.
There you go.
With a fuller. They fullered it.
Oh.
It's a fully, man. Oh, and then Paul will be very interested in all the bling canaries.
Dude, I just saw that.
All the bling canary.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Paul.
Uh-huh.
QSP, canary, neck knife, brass, copper, Damascus, blade. Goddamn. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I actually don't know outside of William Henry who else's production level and has produced copper and brass laminated Damascus.
They got this in their kitchen knives too.
So they have that CF.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
The copper Damascus, yeah.
Oh.
They have the blue and white CF, but they do also have one that's like a blue and red and white CF. Like it's even showier.
Oh my god, I think this handle's busy enough.
No,
I want
it gets
copper
busier.
Carbon fiber on this.
What's that?
Just the regular carbon, copper carbon fiber.
Copper foil carbon fiber.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, that slicer has it. Oh Jesus, that Kiritsuke has it. Probably butchered that. Damn. Oh, it was just those
So they
two.
announced these at SHOT Show, right? And now they're officially ready to go at Blade Show or something like that. I don't know.
That's
they're in the coming soon pile now.
That's really cool. Oh,
That might be.
Oh, that's
Merry Christmas
fancy.
to me.
Oh, and that's cheap. Even at the full price at $140 American, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm impressed.
So some QSP things.
It's got a leather sheath. Oh, well, perfect. I can carry this on my belt.
There's no belt loop. Get your shit away from me. That better be in the waistband or nothing at all, you son of a bitch.
Look, if I wanted to carry a kitchen paring knife in my waistband, I'd get a Victorinox bird.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about the paring knife. It's this 8-inch butcher's knife you better be rocking.
Holy shit.
Persian style. But you gotta have it edge up so you can...
Oh, so...
Only if on the other side you get a holster for like a salt shaker.
Oh, so that's awful.
You can salt bay all over the place.
No, Paul, they just need to make a copper Damascus fork. Because I would buy it. I would buy a copper Damascus fork. I don't have a fancy fork. No one makes a Damascus fork.
Don't
no, they don't.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm sure Will Stelter does, but yeah.
Black Frost, how's it going, man? Glad you could join us. I was burning you about lanyards earlier, but you can watch it if you want.
We talk mad shit. Don't worry.
Actually, we were talking about the Thug too, and it has a good spot for a lanyard, and you'd appreciate that. So.
Oh, yeah, I won a couple of their kitchen knives.
Well, that's cool as hell. I didn't even notice the inlay. It's so nice. Okay, I gotta navigate away from this because.
So new stuff. Really cool. Some more new stuff. If you happen to still have access to Civivi's website, you can go to their coming soon because they have new stuff.
That. I mean, I clicked on it. Oh, there was a problem. Okay, now it's
click again, sir. Yeah. Click away.
Well, no, I want to click to there. What the hell?
So they're flogging a dead horse. Here you are, sir. Here's a dead horse.
Oh, no, I was bitching about the Tonto stuff that we haven't even gotten to yet, but we should definitely bitch about these Warncliffe Elementums. Okay, we should bitch about them. However, if they did come out with a Warncliffe version of the button lock, I might be into it.
Well, they're testing the market with the OG one here because, I mean, everyone needs a penguin, right? So
it'd be like a button lock Centauri. I'm into that.
I'm a little confused. They added thumb studs? I thought one of the reasons guys really liked Elementum was because it was flipper only.
The Elementum 2 was the button lock with the flipper, and I think it had thumb studs.
Yeah.
Maybe? So maybe it went from the Elementum 2 evolution? I don't know.
Well,
what I do know is also legality-wise, this might actually open it up to some other countries instead of just being flipper by itself.
Maybe.
Nope, Elementum 2 is still just a button. I saw it. You went by it.
Weird. Yeah, no, I'm just quickly going through everything to see if thumb studs even show up. But dude, that is okay. Fair enough, I guess.
The only thing I could think of is opening it up in other jurisdictions where they're uppity about stuff, because for some reason flippers have by themselves have become a little bit uptight, but if there's a thumb stud attached with the flipper, it's more acceptable. I don't know, it's weird. They're selling
super strange. Yeah.
There's selling markets online and stuff that have those type of restrictions. It's interesting. It's very interesting. So
that's very awkward. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway. That's the thing. But then, yes, they stole the Cold Steel Immortal blade and called it a Tanto, and then put it on this weird handle that they stole from Root.
Was wood really the best choice for your Damascus version of this weird M-Tech looking Tonto?
That's their Damascus, or that's their version on all their Damascus is with wood.
Not all of it.
Well, a lot of it, yeah.
The vast majority of it. Oh, man. Okay.
I don't know if we asked earlier, but Calvin and Black Frost, what are you carrying?
Yeah. I don't think we did.
Okay, I don't know if I want to look all that close at these knives. What is it about it that is so upsetting to me? You know what I think it is? It's the weird swedge they've got going on the back. It's offset from the Tonto tip on the front, and it's offset from the flat.
Well, they didn't have to worry about Ontario suing them over their weird Tanto Utilitac.
The Pardue design or whatever
exactly,
it was.
Exactly. That's no longer a problem. So Civivi's like, hey, boom, open market. We're filling a gap here.
Oh,
and
man.
For those who don't know, you should bring up Ontario Tanto Utilitac.
I was going to say, I don't know that I know.
Oh, it's good, man. It's good. You're missing
out. It reminds me a lot of the GI Tanto for sure.
Oh, no. You're missing out. Don't you worry about it.
So here's the fully serrated version, because why not?
What? They have a fully serrated version? I'm missing
Uh,
out.
fully serrated. It's the front edge, or sorry, it's the
Oh,
rear
I am
edge.
missing out. I want it.
Yeah, and then the leading edge is plain edge. Oh, it's discontinued. They don't make this version anymore. That's funny.
I don't think they make Utilitax anymore, but yeah.
It's been a while since we've had them. But yeah, I wasn't sure.
See? I'm not wrong. I mean, it's either that or the Meyerco Tanto that was a Jeff Hall design. I believe that's the other one that they may or may not be stealing right now.
I didn't like that one either, but at least that one had a pretty decent hollow grind from what I remember.
Can I get a three-way Sue battle going on?
Maybe. Let's take a look.
Is it a boy named Sue?
I prefer the Greg Lightfoot Tonto from Meyerco, personally.
It's not a Tonto. That was a Grimsmo before Grimsmo's from Grimsmo. Well, the penis blade shaper.
It's the Punisher Renegade Cheese Knife.
Oh, right. It was called the Heat Seeker. Because when I search up Tonto, I actually get the Greg Lightfoot design. I should have kept that one. I shouldn't have sold it. It was so stupid.
But the Jeff Hall, I think it's a Jeff Hall, isn't it?
According to
Heat Seeker.
Well, we will find out.
Apparently, Cal is carrying his Inkosi, his Kopara, and an immunity.
Nice. One of them in his teeth.
But, yeah, it is a Jeff Hall design. And yeah, you are right about like having that Tonto kind of offset, but this one doesn't look as bad for some reason. I still don't like it, to be clear, but it.
See, I'm telling you,
that's a little Norseman-y.
All this shit's been done. All this shit's been done. See, Civivi, be original. Come on, like Greg. Be like Greg. I don't think anyone else needs to be like Greg. I think he's got it covered.
Oh, that's enough.
I need to have one of those fall back into my lap.
Yeah.
All right. Good times. So.
Well, I do want to keep scrolling down to see what other horrors await us, but it looks like it's mostly stuff that we've already seen. So
I was gonna say, other than the Cetos or the Satis it was the Cetos and now it's the Satis, and they've changed it to a liner lock instead of a stainless steel frame lock, like you were predicting, Joe. Was it you that said, why do you think they're gonna phase out the stainless steel frame locks? Yeah. We had this conversation like a month and a half ago. Yeah, you're right. They're coming out with the Gen 2 version that's now scales on both sides with a liner lock.
Oh, dude, I hate myself for saying this, but I fucking love the look of this Damascus and carbon fiber one.
Yeah, look at the price point.
Holy shit. That's affordable. That's not bad. It's a 3.5 rate. That's right. It's the same size. So it would be like...
Yeah, they just made a liner lock version of the one that's sitting on our shelf right now.
For $110, really?
Yeah. That's...
Yeah. Damn, son.
Wait a minute. It's still 14C. I was hoping maybe Nitro V, but that's okay.
So yeah, that's the other thing they came out with. And then other than that, the budget versions of the Synergy, which, I mean, you can see how much everyone loved the actual Synergy, that you might as well make a budget version.
Yeah. I am excited to see the Vision still coming soon.
You can get a Damascus steel version of your Kukri now.
Yeah, I saw that. Isn't that cute? You should get it, Paul. You should.
So it's roughly the same price as the one you bought last time.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't pay full price for that.
That's what I mean. You paid about the price that this one's worth.
Now, that being said, they say Damascus. I gotta wonder what kind of Damascus. It's that
looks
new
like
stuff.
mono steel for the cutting edge. And just like, I like the low layer count. That's kind of neat.
It's probably like a Chad Nichols style Damascus. I don't think it's exactly Chad Nichols
it's
Damascus.
Like
this isn't nearly expensive enough, but
lizard Damascus.
It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, good times. I think that's it. I don't even know anymore.
The Vision is coming soon. That it has a pocket clip that mounts correctly instead of on the spine.
Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, and then the spiny dogfish, which everyone's kind of been like all up in arms about. But yeah,
the Damascus one's kind of hot.
Dude, I thought I was going to go for the standard because I think the standard is Nitro V.
Yeah, it sure is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so now I got a tough decision to make because I really like the look of the Damascus one. But I want to play Nitro V. Like, what the hell?
So I got one more last but not least before we round out the show because I think we're getting close. I think we're getting to yeah. And that's the email that I sent you, Joe, just for you. This one's it's all about tickling Joe's fancies tonight. Oh yeah. Tickling his fancy.
It's fancy.
This one's gonna tickle your fancy too. I tell you.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude! What do you think of his
fancies?
It's called baiting, Paul. It's called baiting. Who's
making this?
That's a Shane Siebert design, sir.
I thought it might be.
Yeah, the only reason I thought Shane Siebert was because I saw that red spacer.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, that's a... Oh, shit, it is.
You go to his Instagram page, he's got half a dozen photos of this thing that's all goddamn gorgeous. Now, one of the major photos might be the fact that he's using MagnaCut on it, because he's jumping on that bandwagon too. So,
yeah.
Look, I like hawkbills a lot, and yes, I've been on a bit of a kick, and I'm like, man, I need to get more hawkbills in my life. But it's got a Pokey grip, right? Like, you're supposed to hold that thing in a reverse.
So no, because of the impact resistance and the stainlessness, you have to throw this like a boomerang, because when it gets lost in the woods, you don't have to worry about it rusting.
He's got you there, Joe.
Yeah, he got me there.
I mean, I don't know what the tubes are for his pins.
Look,
those you might have to worry about rusting.
You know,
he should have put a brush on the other side, and it would have been the most tactical mushroom brush.
If he had to put some sort of like badger hair, something, whatever.
Because no, get your shit over. Every time I wanted to carry this thing, every time I carried this thing, the one thing I wanted to do was just fucking huck it, just see how it went. But now I can.
We feel the same way every time we hold that knife, Joe. Look at that. It's
for the record, Joe, I don't. I like that thing.
I don't hate that knife. I just had to take advantage of a moment there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, that's awful. Thank you for sharing.
Without the choil, so I can use it as a kitchen knife.
Without the finger choil? Yeah.
No,
sorry, not the finger choil, the sharpening choil.
But
yeah, as minimal as possible.
I'm not normally a hawkbilly, but I mean, Shane Siebert, I don't know, most of his stuff I kind of dig. Every once in a while, he comes out with some weird shit. But
yeah, normally I know him for like his crazy, like either Tontos or Bowie blades, and I mean
the overextended clips on the serrated Bowies and stuff.
With the Bowie blade.
What's that?
Well, he did Arvensis. That was the big, thick, chunky guy. But then the Jungle Bowie, I don't think was his.
No, the folder.
The Adamus?
With the green. No, with the green and
the
black.
The Vicar.
Vicar. Yeah.
I knew that it started with a V, but I couldn't remember the rest of the name.
That's
it was the MPR.
I wish I should have bought one of those.
Yeah. If they had a heavier detent, I probably would have caved and bought one, but you could sneeze and those things would open.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it at the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but I got a 452 instead.
Well, yeah, it just tickled my fancy all night long, and look what happened. Look what happened. We ended up on a custom hawk bill that's sick as hell.
Well, we had to come back after looking at 3 of the ugliest Tantos we've seen in a while, so we had to redeem ourselves somehow. So, yeah. Sorry, Greg.
Look, I'm sure the knife...
The Lightfoot one is the nicest of the bunch.
I was waiting for you guys to catch up on that.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, that knife doesn't deserve to be lumped in with the others. That one's trying to be weird. The other ones ended up weird, and they weren't trying.
Good times.
Ugh.
You don't want to see them when they're trying.
We laughed, we cried, we magna-cutted.
Oh, we magna-cutted all over the place.
We
talked about the penguin. We got a quota in.
We did, yeah, twice, beginning and end of the episode. It was good, yeah, for sure.
It came up fairly organically, all things considered. I mean, normally we kind of ham-fist that thing in just to make sure that this tries a little bit, but
get in there.
But this time it actually came about normally, so I'm thankful for that. Yeah.
Well, like I said, the Callaway Park thing too, and it was like this perfect option of just having something, and if I lose it upside down on a roller coaster, or if it's I mean, it's got a weak D10, so hopefully that knife stopped falling out. But anyway, it's
Yeah, it's going from knife loss to homicide real quick.
Wow. Manslaughter. It's unintentional. Come on, man.
Yeah, all right.
Got lawyers.
Sir, we have video footage of you throwing it at the child.
This is a Wendy's, sir.
This is a Wendy's.
My lawyer will be here any minute.
This is the worst roller coaster I've ever been on.
Sir, this is
still a Wendy's. Get out of the fry machine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, get out of the fry machine.
Yeah.
Oh,
his boots are just deep fried.
I hope it's just the boots.
Well,
I was stomping them to make wine. So
being deep fried is not the way that I want to go. That sounds like the epitome of awful.
Yeah, it sounds like actual factual robot hell.
Probably not how we should end this episode, that's for sure.
No.
Just saying.
What am I going to do with this deep fryer I've had sitting here for the last hour?
Oh man, I got it up to temperature for nothing.
Guess I'm making French fries like some kind of loser.
Yeah. Can't let this go to waste. I guess I'm making wings. Jesus.
There you go.
Drumsticks, as the case may be.
Yeah, turkey drumsticks. It's
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah. We're back next week, I believe.
I think so.
But I think the weekend after
so.
I'm out, end of the month.
Okay.
We are running away to the woods a couple weekends in a row, but I am able to make it back for next weekend. I think it's the weekend after that when I get back, I have other things that need to be done. So, yeah. We'll discuss further next week, I'm sure. Or I'll forget, one or the other.
There's really only the two outcomes.
Yeah. I speak the truth. I'm not lying.
Yeah, it's accurate, but
100% how it's going to go down next week. For sure.
Oh my god, thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks.
We'll try and let you know with the community post if we aren't going to be here, or at the very least we'll announce it at the end of next week. Yep.
You can definitely do that for sure.
Thanks for joining us. Good times all around. Thank you to the Cutting Edge Cutlery Co. for letting us check out the Thug 2 from Civivi. Yeah, kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Also, thank you to the 2 new Instagram followers that we got. You continue to baffle me, and I don't understand it, but I get it.
The fact that we're growing at any rate is shocking, but that's all right.
We don't seem to be growing. We seem to lose people as quickly as we gain them. So,
well, I mean,
treaded water.
You're curious, and then quickly the curiosity ends. You see, it's
As long as it's not the same 2 people.
So they just checking in again?
No.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone who continues to subscribe to us on Patreon. We really appreciate your support. Christmas 2023, it's all coming back to you guys. It's a big thank you for supporting us. Yeah, it's not a joke anymore.
No, I believe I've even seen potential Google searches in relation to.
There might have been things that we've thought about discussing, even.
Yeah. That's a perfect sentence that describes us in this way.
Yeah.
There's things we thought about maybe discussing.
Awful. All 3 of us. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys joining us every week. Go like and subscribe to the videos, share them, all of that good times. Help us grow at the 2 followers a week rate. That's good times. Having said that, we will see you all here again next week, 7:15 Mountain Standard Time. I am who I am. I'm Dennis Fibers.
And I'm xl.ca.
Thanks again for joining us tonight, guys. We'll see you next time.
I was very hesitant on whether I was going to bullshit some more or not, but I had nothing to bullshit about. Just say goodnight and be done with it. Come on.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not bad.
I should have sharpened this when I was blowing your sharpener. That would have been an idea.